Hey there. Hey kids. So, you be ready for part 7? You? You? Alright, let's do this. So, part 7. About some crappy rusty floorboards. Got them. So, yeah. Got some missing metal here. So, what I've already went ahead and done is I've scraped off what was left of tar paper that was put down. I got that out of the way. I got the replacement floor pan here. Kind of laid it in place. See where it's going to fit. And I took my angle grinder with the flap wheel, went around the edge here where it's going to fit, and I ground it down to bare metal all the way around here. So you can see here up in the front, I've got rust way beyond where this is going to go. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out way up the firewall, well beyond where this is going to go, and I'll just end up making my own patch panels for that. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'll end up laying this in here, take my paint marker, I'll just trace along the tunnel here, the edge of the new floor pan. So I'll cut along here and the back edge here. The front edge of this where the seat bolts down, still in good shape, so I think I'll end up trimming back on the new panel here. I don't think I'll use as far as that goes, so I'll cut that a little short and leave this piece on the existing floor pan where the nuts are welded to the floor pan. So I'll cut the new piece a little short, leave this here, and just weld it there. Same with along the sill right here. This is all real good on the truck still. On the new piece here, they give you all the way up to the pinch weld where the weather strip goes. I don't have to go that far, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to rip this off here. And I think that's where my joint will be right here. I think it'll be a good spot to weld that. So this will get cut down a little bit here. So I think that'll work out real good. And then, like I said, I'll end up getting rid of that pinch weld on the outside here where the firewall meets the floor pan. That'll disappear. I'll end up making my own piece going up the firewall there. Had to do the same thing on my truck Gilligan. No big deal. So let's get started cutting this out. Yay. All right, I trimmed down the floor pan to the size that I want to work with, and I laid it in here and I traced it out, and hopefully I do not slice my wrists open here. And there it is. There is my cut line. Maybe not necessarily going to follow that line because that's all roached up there anyway. But anyway, along the tunnel for sure. And then right here. So like I said, I'm going to leave where the seat bolts are. I'm going to leave those, so I'm going to make my cut along there. And then I'll go ahead and weld that. I'm actually going to cut inside my line, so I'm not going to actually, it's not going to be a butt weld. It is going to, I'm going to leave a little bit of an overlap, so it'll be easier to weld that way. Then I'll be able to, on the top side and the bottom side, I'm going to be able to fill all of this with seam sealer from the top and the bottom side of the truck. So I'm not going to completely weld this in. I'm going to do some nice long stitch welds, probably 2-inch long stitch welds, probably every couple inches or so, and then this whole thing is going to get filled in with seam sealer. So That's the way I did my other truck, worked out completely fine, so I don't see the need to completely weld this thing in here. So that's my plan there. So let's get cutting this out. All right, it's cut. Now the fun part is there are some spot welds. There are some braces here for the body mount that you're gonna have to grind through some of this rusty floor pan here. You're gonna have to find these spot welds, and I'm gonna have to drill those out to release this floor. And I think there's a brace that runs this way too. There's gonna be a couple of spot welds run along here too. So you're gonna have to grind down and find those and cut those out. All right, so I got the floorboard obviously cut out here. The worst part of it is you're gonna have to find the spot welds that are holding the floorboard down to this little reinforcement piece here, and also right here where the body mount is. Spot weld cutter, you can see right here where I went through. Really hard to use the flap wheel on the angle grinder to clean the floor and to see where the spot welds are. It is a pain in the butt to find those, but you can drill out the spot welds and then just use a hammer and a chisel here. I cut the floorboard, and then on the back side just kind of walk the floorboard up, peeling it back as I'm going here. And then this is what it looks like as you go, and just start peeling the floor off of these braces here on the bottom side. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I release the floor pan from these braces right here. It's not fun, but it can be done. So this is what you got to do to get it off. And then when I lay the new floor pan back inside here, I'll go on the bottom side and I'll mark where these are, and I'll drill holes in the new floor pan so I can spot weld these back to the new floor panels. All right, here's the floor pan completely removed. And here you can see that floor brace that runs up from the floor pan and holds the body mount here. So here's the spot welds that I had to remove. Those are the fun ones you got to find in the rusty floor pan. And you run all the way up. So those are the ones you got to find, drill out, chisel, rip, however you want to get them out. Then those will also be the ones that I'll trace from the bottom under the new floor pan, and then re-weld the new floor pan to those. Okay, so now I have all the edge of this cleaned down to bare metal. That floor brace there for the body mount, that's all bare metal. I cut all the way up the firewall until I got the good fresh metal. Floor pan, all the edges are ground back to bare metal, ground off the coating there. Then also I drilled some holes after I traced the back side where that floor brace is, and I drilled some holes so I can put some plug welds into that floor brace there. So I'm going to go ahead and fit this to the floor and start tacking this in. Alright, I got the floor in. I guess I ended up doing more than just stitch welding it every few inches in what I said originally. So I ended up welded in pretty much all the way. Got those spots plug welded in there. It's kind of working my way around, clamping it as I go to make sure that both sides of the metal are nice and flush. So I just gotta finish that little piece there, and that piece is done. Then I'll go ahead and make some pieces to fill that in there. So far so good. All right, I cut a piece of cardboard as a template. The last little piece there. I do got that one little hole up there in the left-hand corner. Cut a little patch for that though. But there's my last little pattern. I'm gonna transfer that to some sheet metal, cut that out, and get that tacked in next. Okay, I got my cardboard template traced out on some 16 gauge sheet metal, and I'm just gonna cut it out with some trusty Harbor Freight electric shears. So here we go, let's get it cutting. All right, there's the patch panel. I cut out a steel, Put that up there, and also got another little patch panel for that little hole up there too. So I'm gonna get these tacked in place now. All right, there it is. She's all in. Everything's welded. Everything's cleaned up. Sorry about the light. And now I'm gonna go ahead and seam seal everything. Okay, here it is. All the weld seams are all sealed up with the seam sealer. So we're gonna let that set up till tomorrow. And then I'll come out here and probably clean up all the rest of the floor on both sides. Get all the rest of that tar paper or whatever the heck it is. Get all that off the floor, and I'll probably put a coating of like some bed liner down, and that'll be the coating on the floor. That'll be underneath the rubber mat that I got on order. So, and that'll take care of the floors. On the outside here, now you can see, hopefully, there's what it looks like underneath here. I'll put a nice thick coat of some like rubberized undercoating down on this side here to cover up all that, and that should be good. So I think we're good on the rust repair there now. So once this is all coated, it should look really good. So we'll give this some time to dry, and then we'll see how that looks. So also, now that the floor pan is all done, and I got the firewall, all that repair finished up, and everything's now coated and painted, I was able to finally throw in the brand new heater core and the modified heater box. Everything's all installed now, so the engine compartment, other than just going through this mess right here, is basically done now. I did cut, sliced up, and rolled that pinch weld there, just make some more clearance for the transmission, the bell housing there. So there it is. Everything's all installed. No more gaping holes. Looking good. Well, just to finish off this video, just to show you guys floor repair finished. Anyway, there it is with some undercoating on there. That's all sealed up, all done, and basically ready for the rubber floor mat to go over top of it here. I may throw down some kind of insulation in between the rubber floor mat. I got to see once it shows up if it comes with anything already on the back side. If it doesn't have any kind of like jute or any kind of insulation or nothing, then I will get something of my own to put down. But if it comes with something that's cool, I'll use that. So only other thing is I got to put the plug in the floor there, and up here where the body mount bolt is, there's a special metal cover that goes over that. Looks like that one there. I got to see if I can source one of those. I don't know if they sell those new or not, so I got to find one of those. But that's it. That covers the floor pan replacement on this truck. Like I said, the rest of the floors are good, so there's nothing else to do as far as that goes. So next step is going to be throwing the front axle in the truck. I got that broke in half, started getting the old radius arms off so we can get the James Duff arms on. So that's going to be it for this. We're moving right along. So it won't be long. This will be a rolling chassis, and should look a whole lot different.